Good evening and thank you for joining us. The Hong Kong Observatory issued a black rainstorm warning signal twice today. The first remained in force for more than 2 hours in the afternoon. The highest rainstorm warning was issued again this evening. Hardest hit areas this afternoon included Tu Mun, Yuen Long and Tin Shui Wai, which were lashed by heavy downpours and flooding. The black rainstorm warning signal was issued at 12:55 p.m. with rainfall reaching nearly 70 millimeters in Tu Mun and Yuen Long. Long Ping Station in Yuen Long saw floodwater surge near the level of the bridge. On Tung Tai Street, minibuses had to drive through waterlogged streets. Cracks emerged on roads in Hung Shui Kiu with some neighborhoods affected by inundation. Residents had to wade through calf-deep water, and cars had to be driven more cautiously. Precarious sites too in Tu Mun, including this village, Jiang Tao Chun. Water everywhere. After the second black rainstorm warning signal of the year was issued, many students rushed home as the Education Bureau announced suspension of afternoon classes. Schools were required to remain open and implement contingency measures to care for students already on campus and could not leave. Earlier, an amber rainstorm warning was issued at 5:40 a.m. and cancelled after nearly 4 hours in effect. Another band of thunderstorms approached Hong Kong, prompting a second amber warning at 11:15 a.m., followed by a red rainstorm warning at 12:10 p.m., before being upgraded to the black signal 45 minutes later. At 3:05 p.m., the warning was downgraded to red. The observatory forecasts occasional heavy showers and squally thunderstorms throughout the day, with bouts of intense rain at first.
Areas of intense thundery showers associated with an active southerly airstream are affecting the coast of Guangdong. Locally, intense rain bands are affecting the urban areas and the eastern part of the territory. And locally, there has been heavy rain in the past couple of hours. Showers were heavier in the western and northern part of the territory, with more than 100 millimeters of rainfall recorded.
Looking ahead, showers will linger on over the Dragon Boat Festival tomorrow with sunny intervals in the afternoon. From the weekend to early next week, the weather will be generally fine with some sweltering days on the way. Heavy rain also fell across a wide area of neighboring Shenzhen, prompting the city to enter a state of emergency. Online clips show heavy rain battering Shenzhen this morning with dense downpours obscuring sights. The meteorological department said several districts, including Luowu and Futian, recorded rainfall reaching torrential levels. At noon, the highest level rainstorm warning was issued for these areas, and the entire city entered a state of rainstorm preparedness, urging residents to stay away from low-lying areas. U.S. President Donald Trump has hailed U.S.-India relations during a meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the sidelines of the G7 summit in France. The meeting with Modi came at a choppy moment in the U.S.-India relationship. On June 10th, 3 Indian sailors were killed in a U.S. military strike on a tanker in the Gulf of Oman in the midst of the American blockade, targeting oil shipments through the Strait of Hormuz. Modi alluded to the incident with the sailors at their meeting, saying the safety of Indian mariners is of utmost importance to us. On the issue of trade, Trump said the U.S. is very close to reaching a deal with India, and he lavished praise on Modi.
He's a very tough negotiator. He's one of the toughest, actually. So you look at this man. I'll give you a lesson. He's the most beautiful-looking man. He looks so nice. He's like an angel. But actually, he's as tough as he's a killer. I don't want to. He's a killer.
U.S. President Donald Trump derailed the confirmation process of his own nominee to head his nation's intelligence agencies. This is in an extraordinary move that upended Senate efforts to renew a crucial surveillance program and fueled fresh tensions with fellow Republicans on Capitol Hill. Daniel Rao tells us more.
He's U.S. President Donald Trump declared he was delaying the nomination of federal prosecutor Jay Clayton as Director of National Intelligence. This just hours ahead of his scheduled hearing, despite bipartisan praise for the nominee and Republican efforts to speed him through the confirmation process. Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman Tom Cotton said Republicans would go ahead with the Clayton hearing anyway, unless the president directs him not to appear or withdraws his nomination. But he eventually postponed the hearing, saying it was regrettable Trump had directed Clayton not to appear. Trump's attempt to delay Clayton makes it more likely that his temporary pick for the intelligence job, top housing official Bill Pulte, will take over when outgoing director Tulsi Gabbard leaves office on Friday. Trump called the speedy process to get Clayton formally installed a rush act by the Democrats. Trump sang Pulte's praises and said he'll be in charge until someone else gets approved.
Well, as long as it takes to get everybody else approved. I mean, they were doing a rush act, and we didn't get anything for it. Look, he's a very legitimate guy. He's very smart. He's a brilliant guy.
Republicans and Democrats in Congress have sharply criticized Pulte. A Trump loyalist has no known national security experience and has used his current administration purge to target perceived adversaries of the president. Caught in the middle is the renewal of Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, bipartisan legislation that aims to prevent terrorist attacks by monitoring the communications of targeted foreigners located outside the U.S. Democrats had said they would not provide the necessary votes to pass the bill unless Pulte's temporary appointment was withdrawn. The current surveillance authority expired last week. Further complicating matters, Trump said he would not sign the FISA renewal without his legislation to require proof of citizenship for all voters, which does not have enough votes to pass the Senate. Dan Rowell, TV News.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's future as head of the government is on the line in a special election. Voters in the Makerfield district of northwest England are electing a new lawmaker, and the leading contender is Andy Burnham, the current mayor of Greater Manchester and the hot favourite to be the next Prime Minister. If Burnham wins the seat for the Labour Party, he is almost certain to challenge the embattled Starmer for leadership of the party and the country. On Wednesday, Starmer implied he would give Burnham a big role in the government. The Prime Minister said he would not relinquish his leadership. However, he has struggled to deliver promised economic growth, repair tattered public services, and tarnished by his appointment of scandal-plagued Peter Mandelson as Britain's ambassador to Washington. The Commission on Poverty has released a report on impact of targeted poverty alleviation strategy in Hong Kong. It shows all key performance indicators, or KPIs, are met or exceeded. Chief Secretary for Administration Eric Chan said poverty will no longer be defined in the future, and the focus will be on relief efforts. Daniel Rao reports.
The report on impact of targeted poverty alleviation strategy in Hong Kong was released today. The three target groups in need of assistance are estimated to include over 210,000 subdivided flat tenants, over 200,000 single-parent households, and over 717,000 elderly households. The report details the achievements of the assistance program. In the Strive and Rise program, teens showed improvement in areas such as self-confidence, financial planning skills, and self-esteem. In the Community Living Room pilot program, there were improvements in living space, community belonging, and interpersonal networks. As for the after-school care program, nearly 100% of parents or caregivers reported reduced homework time for their children at home. Families participating in the program saw an average income increase of about $3,500. About 90% of students reported making new friends and discovering personal interests. The report concludes the government-business-citizen cooperation model is effective. The government will continue to refrain from defining poverty and will focus on providing relief. Chief Secretary for Administration Eric Chan said the word poverty should include non-economic poverty. A government source emphasized that not defining poverty is to avoid labeling. General TV News.
Hong Kong's universities have shown significant improvements in the World University QS rankings. 2 local universities are now in the global top 20. The Chinese University of Hong Kong jumped 14 places to 18th. This while the University of Hong Kong maintained its 11th position. In all, 5 UGC-funded universities continue to rank among the world's top 100 this year, including HKUST, which rose 11 places to 33rd. The Hong Kong SAR government said it will support institutions in building world-class universities and disciplines. A traveler who arrived in Hong Kong from Indonesia was robbed of gold bars worth about 7 million Hong Kong dollars at the airport's parking lot. Police sealed off parking lot number 3 at the airport. It is understood that the 36-year-old man arrived in Hong Kong at midnight and was intercepted by 3 mask-donning men when he was walking to the parking lot to pick up his car. The assailants, believed to be between 20 and 30 years old, were armed with knives and seized a man's backpack containing 6 kilograms of gold bars. The trio then made a swift getaway via a private car. The male victim sustained injuries to his left thigh and left forearm during the struggle and was sent to hospital for treatment. Dragon boat races will be held across Hong Kong and neighboring Macau on Friday to mark the Dragon Boat Festival. Among the teams gearing up is a Sha-Tin-based squad, which hopes to promote the culture and spirit of the Chinese tradition. Paddling through the water in perfect rhythm, the Dragon Boat team trained on Sha-Tin's Shingmun River despite intermittent rain on Thursday morning. Several members are former Hong Kong Dragon Boat representatives and train on the water 3 to 4 times a week, while also maintaining rigorous gym and running regimens. Former Hong Kong team member Hyun Kui Chun says the sport's repetitive one-sided paddling motion often leads to muscle imbalances and injuries. But the camaraderie among teammates has kept him motivated, with hopes to use his professional experience to bring this district squad to higher levels. The crew will represent Sha-Tin District at the Hong Kong International Dragon Boat Races later this month in East Tsim Sha Tsui. On Friday, they will be the first community-based team from Hong Kong to compete in the Macau International Dragon Boat Races. As team captain says, conditions in Macau present new challenges, with races taking place in calmer fresh water compared with the river and coastal waters where the team usually trains. Stroke by stroke, the paddlers hope to bring their local team to more international stage so more people can understand this Chinese traditional sport. Princess Wencheng of the Tang Dynasty married into Tubuan, known today as Xizang or Tibet, in 641 AD to promote cultural exchanges between the Han and Tibetan peoples. The Potala Palace and Jokang Temple in Lhasa, which witnessed this history, are now UNESCO World Cultural Heritage Sites and have become popular tourist attractions. Samantha Lowe reports from Lhasa.
It took Princess Wencheng more than 2 years to reach Lhasa and marry Songtsen Gampo. The Potala Palace, standing at an altitude of 3,700 meters, was built by Songtsen Gampo to welcome his bride. The palace features red and white as its main colors. The White Palace once served as the place of government meetings, while the Red Palace was used for religious activities such as enshrining Buddha statues. Visitors must cope with altitude sickness, which can cause dizziness and headaches. This tourist says there's a lack of oxygen, but not a lack of faith. Since she is getting older, she must come and see it while she is still able to walk. Another tourist views the palace as a sacred place. She says people from all over the country and the world yearn to come here. The Jokang Temple holds a revered place in the hearts of Tibetans because it enshrines a Buddha statue that Princess Wencheng brought with her when she entered Tibet. The Bako street surrounding the temple is now home to more than 20 ethnic groups. It is a place where believers perform long prostrations in worship. This visitor spent more than 100 yuan to rent Tibetan clothing, hoping to better immerse herself in local customs. She has been longing to come to Tibet for years. She picked through many outfits and chose something like a wedding dress, which makes her feel like she is marrying herself. Visitors in the Jokang Temple must follow the rules and walk clockwise, as a sign of respect to the Tibetan Buddhist etiquette. Currently, Hong Kong and Macau residents can travel freely in Tibet with their home return permits. But foreign and Taiwanese tourists must arrange their trips through travel agencies and obtain a Tibet travel permit before entering the region. Samantha Lowe, TVB News, Tibet.
And that's the news. Thank you for watching.